back, cunts. This is DQP Does, and this is the final episode of the Cornetto Trilogy, The World's End. With me this evening is Cunt 1.
Nathan, professionally unprofessional.
And Cunt 2.
This unprofessionally professional.
Jesus.
Cunt 2 is I, Russell.
What up, cunt dose?
What's up, Cunta?
All right, so this movie.
This movie's a cunt.
Yeah, something like that. Twat. What is happening right now?
You know why this movie's a cunt? Because I can spend an hour and a half on it. Don't look at me like that. Just laugh.
It's cool. I'm good for like 8 seconds.
Yeah, what the fuck? All right, I don't know why this cast is fucked up.
I'm done.
Sort by... There we go.
You know, take a refractory period and then bring it back in.
I usually have to go eat a bowl of ice cream.
Okay.
That
My
sounds
sorting was
filling.
weird on IMDb. So we got our usual suspects: Simon Pegg, Nick Frost.
I am loaded and ready to go the fuck off on Nick Frost whenever you want to let me.
Let me get through a little bit of it first. Paddy Considine. I don't think he was in Shaun of the Dead, but he was in Hot Fuzz. He was one of the Andys.
Yeah.
We've got Martin Freeman again. Bill Nighy was the voice of the network, so he was in this one again.
Yep.
Edgar Wright apparently voiced a construction worker. He was uncredited. I don't know. Peter Serafinowicz. Damn it, Peter.
Where's that video?
Yeah, so you were supposed to send us a video after Shaun of the Dead. He was the guy they knocked on his door and ran away. That came running out.
Yeah.
There were a few more familiar faces. The twins, the twins that were a couple of the zombies in Shaun of the Dead were in the bar at the end.
Yep.
With a human carved into their foreheads. Oh, man. I don't know. This movie's weird, but you wanted to go off about Nick Frost, so go ahead.
All right. So...
Cunt 2.
I super fucking love Nick Frost in this movie. I love Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg's great in all three movies. But I really feel like this is the one where Nick Frost had the chance to shine.
Yeah.
Because he just goes through this character development throughout the film. But also, the part that I super enjoy with Nick Frost is I just love watching his movements and the choreography in this.
Yeah.
Because it's so...
He's a nimble fat man.
Yes. It's so ridiculous to watch.
And I can say that because I'm fat. I'm not as nimble, though.
But the way the choreography flows and the way he flows with the stunt doubles and everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was actually him or if it was a stunt double, but a lot of it has facial shots in it. So I feel like a lot of this choreography was done by the actual cast.
Right.
And just he's so fluid and it's fantastic, and I really enjoyed watching that. On top of I love the acting job he does in particular in this movie, because Simon Pegg just comes in, he plays a douchebag, and it's not that hard to get a douchebag right. Plenty of actors come in, they do it. It's a pretty standard role archetype character to play. But Nick Frost has this whole arc that he goes through in the movie where he, and then we have a big reveal with his character near the end.
Right.
Where he kind of plays this uptight guy who used to be a lot of fun. And he has to do these small micro emotes on being annoyed, and I just feel like he gets all of those across really well. And you and I also resonate with him, I guess, on a certain level. Because he just wants Gary to grow up.
Right.
So There's no shade there.
Uh-huh.
But so I really enjoyed Nick Frost in this movie and his character development that he gets across.
I really liked Nick in this movie too. I also like he's just like basically there's a couple spots in Shaun of the Dead where you see this character and sort of a little bit but more tongue in cheek in Hot Fuzz, where in this he's just going off.
Yeah.
You know, like running around screaming, hitting blanks with fucking stools on his fists. Those parts I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed Nick Frost's acting in this. Versus pretty much everyone else, like it was just kind of natural characters. There wasn't anything crazy. The craziest thing other than Nick Frost's portrayal of Andy was Gary, you know.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg playing Gary, which was a little different from his characters in the other movies. He was still like stubborn and like kind of like always right.
Yeah.
Like he is in the other movies, or at least in Hot Fuzz, but he was like also lost and had this like deep sadness and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that really came across that well, except for a couple of scenes. There's one scene where I've seen this in person, the like alcoholic drinking the drink and just being like, yes.
Right.
You know, I don't remember what pub it was in, but it was when he's knocked out, they lay him down on top of the bar, and like Steve and Andy are trying to get to the car.
It's Hole in the Wall.
No, it was the one before Hole in the Wall.
Yeah, Hole in the Wall is the one they drive the car through that they put the hole in the wall.
It's the King's Head. Because they had to go.
10.
Yeah, they had to go through it.
King's
Yeah.
Head.
Oh, that
Hole in the
makes
Wall was
sense.
the next one.
Yep. So he gets up while they're not looking and is like pouring a drink, and they're just like, "What the fuck, dude? Time for drinking is done." But you know, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen that guy. the time for drink. You know, you might be looking at me.
Or
the
listening.
What?
I said, or he's listening.
Oh yeah, that too. But you know, the time for drinking is done. Put it down, and they're like, "No, I'm going to finish this one." And the face that he makes after that is like very accurate to what happens with addiction.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Simon Pegg in particular has some sort of experience with addiction, whether it be himself or a close friend or
Yeah, that was like
family or
the
something.
best part of that character. Otherwise, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're supposed to hate it. It's like a good heel,
Yeah.
you know. But it detracted from my enjoyment of the movie because I fucking hated him. So, I don't know.
No.
No?
No.
It
I think
didn't
you
detract from my enjoyment of the movie because I hated him?
No one fucking cares about your feelings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was
Care about
watching.
your feelings, cunt.
I mean, stop being a twat. The way I look at it is you got different versions of Simon Pegg in all these movies.
Right.
Okay. You got like that the lovable lazy guy. He's a good guy, you know.
Right.
And then in the next one you got like
The workaholic.
workaholic, lovable guy, and then you got the piece of shit lovable guy.
Right.
So it's like what's the D&D alignments?
Oh, yeah. There's like good, neutral, and evil.
There you go.
Or lawful,
But they're like all
neutral,
good.
and chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. And then with Nick Frost, who I'm a huge Nick Frost fan and Simon Pegg fan, like I like the stuff they do separately too. But like with Nick Frost in this one, like he's so like this is the way it is and like by the rules. I think I relate to that character the most
Yeah.
because that's how I am.
Yeah, and then he just loses his
And
shit.
then he loses
eventually,
his
and he's
shit.
like, okay,
Yeah, and
well.
then you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
And then he turned into the fucking Hulk
Yeah.
and put bar stools over his hand and started beating the shit out of things.
Yeah. He was Hulk smashing. No,
I
it
love
was
it.
great. It was fantastic. And like even in the beginning when he was still sober, when they went into the bathroom, he's like sticky hands fighting with this fucking this fucking blank, and like, it was not lost on me that teenager happened to be Asian. What the fuck, movie? But he's
like that,
he's sticky hands fighting with this kid, and it's like, why does Andy know how to fight? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
He never forgot.
Yeah, and he like fucking does a backbreaker. He does a bunch of fucking
Well, dude, Simon
wrestling
Pegg did a
moves.
fucking rock bottom to take off that dude's
Yep.
head in the very beginning, like, or the beginning of that fight. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That bathroom sequence is actually probably one of my favorite fight scenes in anything. Like it,
Yeah, it's
like
really good.
It would probably be in my at least top 10, if not top 5.
You got that, and then the fight seat in the Kingsman, like the very beginning one.
Yeah.
Those two are my favorite.
The
fight
church
scenes.
one?
No. Oh shit.
The church one's
Yeah,
the church one's really
one,
good.
But I'm talking about the first pub one.
Oh,
the
yeah.
first pub one's good.
Colin
Firth.
Firth. Yeah, I always want to say Farrell, and I know that's not right.
Yeah.
That's Bullseye.
Firth, yeah.
Old Bullseye.
Speaking of Bullseye, tangentially, Daredevil.
Get it.
The what?
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 Why are we talking about Daredevil?
Best fight scenes? The fucking hallway fight.
I don't recognize it.
You don't
Yes.
recognize it. Okay.
That single
Talking about
shot.
UK actors.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did that stipulate? You just fuck you, WCW, and adding stipulations halfway through the match.
Oh, you want to talk about things? Yeah, well, I'll tell you about other things.
Oh
fuck
my
that,
god.
man. Like, I'm talking about UK actors.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I just made it a thing.
Uh-huh.
Because fuck you. Twat.
Stipulations on a pole match.
I'm not
I
fucking
think Charlie
Vince
Cox is
Russo.
British.
Is he? I don't know.
I really want him to be just for this conversation, so you can be like, "Fuck you."
Google it.
Oh, all right. Hold on.
Son of a bitch. Was born in London, England.
Yeah.
The evidence. The evidence is admissible.
But I found it first, and I was the last one to start Googling over here.
I was like reading about his heritage and stuff. I didn't read the first sentence.
Yeah, I just typed in Cox.
So how'd you get through your first 5 porn pages?
No, I was on IMDb.
Oh.
Oh, I typed in his first name first.
Yeah, I mean, I had to cancel out Pornhub first.
And then get on IMDb. Yeah. And it's spelled with an X, not CKS.
I did spell it with an X. My phone was like, oh, COC. And I'm like, no. No. Because I wanted to look up that Coco movie,
Oh, okay.
which is completely different.
All right.
So that Daredevil scene in
Yes,
the hallway,
it's a very
the
good fight
single
scene.
shot, is a very good fight scene.
Yeah.
So to go from the Daredevil one, the Punisher one is also one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen, where he's in the prison.
No.
Oh, yeah. It's
No.
very good, too.
No.
Yeah.
It's also comparable to a comic scene. No, I'm just fucking with Nathan now. Every book where
Yeah.
Punisher's in the prison, though, is really good. All right, so back to the choreography. I think the choreography, like, of the fight scenes was really good in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of my favorite things about the movie. That and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
I think the plot's pretty... I don't know. Meh.
Would you say it's like a basic sci-fi plot?
Uh,
Kind of like,
Yeah,
a
it's
basic
kinda-
zombie movie plot
yeah.
or a basic action movie plot.
No, I think Hot Fuzz's plot was better than this was.
I don't disagree.
Okay. Because, like, the plot of Shaun of the Dead, the zombies were kind of just like a random threat. It
Yeah.
didn't have to be zombies.
Right.
It could have been like an invading force of random dudes
Mm-hmm.
or something. I mean, it did encourage a lot of the comedy in it.
Right.
But it could have been anything, really.
I don't hate the plot of this movie.
hate it.
Actually, I already was like, I really like this movie.
Right.
Then we watched it again today, and I was like, fuck, I like this movie more.
Really?
Yeah, watching it again. And a lot of it is the humor, and it has almost absolutely nothing to do with the plot, because I love the first 45 minutes of this movie. When it starts to get weird,
Yes.
I like it a little bit less. Like, I would have enjoyed this movie had it probably just been a bar crawl movie.
Yeah.
And just been like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost do The Hangover. Like, something along those lines.
Yeah, like if everything that happened had been just like them doing the bar crawl and eventually like, you know, for some the reason that Andy started drinking was like he saw like an old girlfriend or something instead of aliens.
Yeah. I mean, it's batshit nuts, and I don't hate it. I do really like this movie, but I do think this movie would have been more impactful, and it probably would have been a better closeout for these three movies, even though they're not necessarily related. But it probably would have been a better closeout for this section of their lives had it been a little bit more serious, I guess. Not necessarily serious, but like
Less ridiculous.
yeah, less ridiculous.
Yeah. At least like less sci-fi ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because, like, or if it had been like a subtle nod that there was crazy shit happening, like, you know, what the fuck is the old man's character? What's his name?
Basil.
If he had like talked to them and it had been like a weird dark scene where they're like, you know, he tries to explain that everyone's a fucking alien or whatever, been replaced by Invasion of the Body Snatcher style. And because like the whole movie is kind of a nod to that, like the screeching and the reaching out and everything. Only it's like weird Ken doll alien replacements.
Right.
But like if he had like subtly nodded to it and like people didn't remember them except for certain people and shit like that, and it hadn't been like them fighting the aliens, it had just been like, you know, they're like moving through it and not noticing, and they were told that it was happening and they're just like doing the bar crawl, and that's why some of the shit happens, but they don't know.
Yeah.
I think that would have been more interesting. A more involved plot.
Yeah. Yeah, and like a little bit more background. I would have liked that too. I think a little bit better. So with the end though, so where the plot goes to, it's kind of just for like one big joke.
Yeah.
Which like always bothers me, but I like it a little bit better the way they did it here than what some things do when they just do the whole plot for like one big joke at the end.
Right.
Partially because there's a lot of jokes throughout the entire time. One of them that I noticed was when Simon Pegg tries to use the phone and they're in the bathroom, and Nick Frost says, and they get like a weird buzzy tone instead of, and Nick Frost says, "Oh, must be something to do with the network, or the network must be down or something." And he mentions the network, and then it's like, oh, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's the name of the alien race.
Yeah. So I like that. And then I do really like
the mom dying recurring joke throughout the whole show.
Yeah, that was good. And then I like what they do with the ending where they're standing up to the network, because they're doing the same degradation of the human race and our cancer essentially that we are.
Yeah.
But they're doing it like they've accepted it, like we as a race have accepted it and moved on, but it's still a joke. So it's like an extra layer of commentary on top of it, instead of just being like, instead of the aliens explaining, "Oh, you guys are."
It's like a
fucking
satirization
trash."
of the Matrix.
Yeah, Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So I really like how they pulled that off at the end, with just like reversing that, and then and I mean you said it at the end, like after we were done watching it, I want that next movie.
Right. Yeah.
Like it would make this movie better.
Yeah. The
if we had the post-apocalyptic ridiculous follow-up
Gary
sequel.
King, and he goes and finds Andy and Steve, and
Yeah.
goes and runs around with the volleyball-headed Oliver and shit.
Yeah, how's it going?
What's up, Nathan?
Cunt one here with my report on the movie. I would like to say that they're all relatively the same. I mean, you know,
There are similar movies.
zombie apocalypse hasn't happened,
Uh-huh.
so therefore, it's unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
Alien races have not came down.
That we know of.
Area 51,
Yet.
we'll find out September 20th, baby!
I hope all those anime dipshits get killed off.
Trying to sound less monotonous.
And then I don't believe there's ever been a town that has banded together for the greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good.
But I mean,
that's
you know,
way off.
I'm sure that the Clintons have. So I mean, yeah, it's just what it is. What it is.
Yeah, the whole country has.
This will be my last podcast because I won't wake up tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
But I have insurance. So and you know that stuff when you die.
Life insurance
that's
doesn't
what I
pay out
want.
when it's a suicide,
It won't be a
which we
suicide.
know they'll make it look like. You should probably cut all that.
It's already in the fucking cloud now, bro.
Uh-oh. Sipping on the cloud.
Yeah. So. Fuck it.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I liked the movie more this time because I think I'd only seen it maybe twice. There's a lot of good jokes in it. The recurring mom joke. Nathan picked up on the fact that they all fall where they did when they were 18.
Yep.
Or 19 or whatever they were when they
and then
graduated
at the end
high
of the
school.
movie, you had Andy and Gary. No, because Peter wasn't there yet.
Right.
But like it was just them at the
Steve.
end, and after they show, was it Steve?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Peter was the other guy.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyways, it was just Andy and Gary
Right.
at the very end,
Right. Two best friends.
which was similar to the whole thing that he was showing when he did the flashback of when they were younger.
Yep.
Which I want that movie.
Right. That one would be more like The Hangover.
That prequel, that's the original fucking Hangover.
Yes.
That's the UK Hangover. I want that.
I want to watch that movie too. I want to watch the two movies that this movie would spawn more than I want to watch this movie.
Because
Damn.
fuck yeah. That's why.
Yeah. I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
I want. I'm gonna expand on that a little bit. I want another Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Edgar Wright movie.
Yeah.
Nay. Trilogy. With continuity. That's what I want. Because I like all three of these movies, I do, but
Yeah.
I want an Edgar Wright saga.
Yeah.
Like, because like right now I'm just jerking him off. Give me something. I
You
can
want to
put
get
the-
fucked?
give me something I can put the whole thing in my mouth.
Okay.
Like a Cornetto.
Yeah, like a Cornetto.
Look, if people have listened
Mint
to all their
chocolate
podcasts, they're
chip
gonna
Cornetto.
realize I have some weird thing for Edgar Wright as a director. I don't get it. You don't
Yeah,
have
just
to
as
get
a
it.
director. In
Yeah,
air
as a
quotes.
director.
He could take him and Ridley.
I don't know why. Where did this Ridley thing come from? Why
Dude,
do I
you
have
did
a thing for
talk
Ridley?
about Ridley Scott like a whole bunch.
Yeah, during the MCU stuff, you were like, if Ridley Scott directed this movie, blah, blah, blah. And then
I mean, I remember
Nathan
like
started
3 or 4 times, but
only 3 or 4 times.
yeah.
And then
there
Nathan
more?
started doing it for you. He's like, oh yeah, would have been better if Ridley Scott directed it, huh?
And you're like, no.
I mean,
What are
we
you
all
talking
go,
about? I've
we
never
all-
said Ridley Scott's name before.
we all go through phases, I guess, with actors, directors. You know, you had that Jeremy Piven thing going for you for a while.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
Ari Gold. Fucking love Entourage.
I really liked Smoking Aces. What can I say?
It's a good movie.
It is.
I bet you like Smoking Aces.
But no, I want to see them come back because I like Simon Pegg and I like Nick Frost. I've seen them do a lot of separate stuff, but
Right.
neither of them have done anything that I enjoy as much as when they are together because their
Right.
on-screen chemistry is just absolutely fucking
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
fantastic.
They match wits with each other. They get those lines in under each other's breaths,
Mhm.
and they're so fucking like I don't know how many times it takes them to do it, but like I just fucking love watching them interact.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I really enjoy them together, and I would enjoy this writing team spreading all this like interconnected jokes and plot
Mhm.
lines and stuff across 3 movies. It would be interesting if it was like serious with little comedy bits, or the other way around. Either way, honestly, it
Yeah.
would be good.
I mean, I would even take the tone of I would take the tone of these 3 movies because there's a lot of serious plot. I mean, even with all 3 of them,
Right.
This one being absolutely ridiculous, one being a zombie movie, but Hot Fuzz does come across a little bit more as like a serious film with some jokes in it.
Mhm.
And now, it's 6 years later since this movie came out. This movie came out in like 2013, I think.
Okay.
So, it's 6 years later. They start working on it next year. That's 7 years. People grow in 7 years. So, like, we don't even know who these 3 would be as a team at this point. But I want to find out. I'm hoping that we get some sort of announcement here in the next, so long. Disney's gonna obviously listen to our podcast and be like, "That's a cash cow. Let's do that. Let's put it on Disney Plus, and we're gonna fucking, lose our minds over it." But
I mean, I'm grown right now just thinking of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cox.
Oh, and we want more cunt because if you couldn't tell from the podcast, that is, my cunt counter for this movie is 2.
Yeah, they say twat way more.
Yeah, twat's cool, but
We like cunts.
yeah, we like the word cunt.
The marmalade sandwich.
I'd like to be able to afford one.
A marmalade sandwich, or
Oh, yeah, the
let's
sandwich.
move on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all 3 of them cunts.
All right, so I'm going to go off on the CG a little bit here.
How many quid do you think that would cost?
Those 3 in particular,
Yeah.
I don't know, a couple 100,000 maybe.
That's a lot of quid.
Let
Let me converge it. $5.
$5. All right, there you go. The CG in this, I think, was okay. There were a couple parts that were kind of shitty. Specifically, every time, what was his name? Oliver. Whenever Oliver had half a head, which happened twice,
Yep.
he looked like ass. Surprisingly, some of
I mean, you would look like ass too if half your head was missing.
it was just like the inside. It just looked like bad green screen, is what I mean. But surprisingly, when one of the twins had 2 legs for arms and she was windmilling them, it looked okay.
Yeah.
And I think the modern art guardian thing looked okay until it attacked them. And
Yeah,
then
until it was animated.
That spot looked kind of shitty. No, I think it was okay when it was just like walking around. But when they got close to it and it attacked them, and there was like other references for real materials around it,
Yeah.
it got real shitty. But I think that was, for the most part. When At the very end.
Oh.
Well, not the very end, but the end when the blast goes off and they're in the car and it like catches up with them and it kind of goes all brown.
Yeah.
That looked like ass. It looked real bad. So, other than that, I think it was pretty decent as far as the effects go.
The effects were a little cheap, which, I mean, I imagine it wasn't too high budget of a movie.
Yeah, I mean, they just ran around on a set for the most part.
So before you mentioned it, I was sitting here thinking, because I couldn't figure out what the Chekhov's gun was, and it's been in the other two movies, and I was like, it has to be in this one. What the fuck is it? What the fuck is it? But it's the statue, because it's in the first act. As soon as they arrive in the town, the statue's there in the background, and you see it, and they talk about it being a work of art. They even mention it, right? Just like they do the mine in Hot Fuzz, just like they do the gun behind the counter at the bar in Shaun of the Dead. So the Chekhov's gun in this is the statue that animates later to attack them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've gone over the effects and the actors, a little bit of our feelings. Do we want to do some trivia? Nathan, you got some trivia?
No, I'm shopping on Amazon.
Nathan doesn't care about this podcast.
Okay.
I only care about the one that is the highest rated podcast on the DQP Podcast Network. I'm talking about the Crimson Ring.
Those are network ratings, bro. All the podcasts are rated the same.
And we're number one.
Tied for number one with everyone else.
That's impossible. We're weekly.
Tied for number one with us.
And I have Doug, so...
We actually have more episodes on this podcast, so we're rated higher.
Yeah, but I'm on all of them, so I'm rated higher. And I have Doug.
No.
Yeah.
Doug's been on this before, and he's going to be on it again.
I mean, maybe.
This is why I had to prove the usage of the word cunt, because you guys are acting like him.
No one asked you.
It doesn't matter if you ask me. You still gotta listen.
All right, so
no, I don't.
We got a little bit of
headphones on.
we got a little trivia here. As this is the conclusion of the Cornetto Trilogy, the characters are seen. I don't ever see them eating the peppermint Cornetto. That's just at the end. This trivia is wrong. But it shows the peppermint green Cornetto wrapper at the end.
There's mint chocolate chip.
Yeah.
Peppermint green.
It says peppermint.
Well, that's
mint
stupid.
chocolate chip.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's green wrapper,
Stop
mint
reading
chocolate
that
chip.
crap.
It's garbage. According to Edgar Wright, which this is probably fucking wrong anyway, but I mean, I remember the colors correctly, so maybe it's right. The rest of this is a fucking editing nightmare. According to Edgar Wright, green represents science fiction and extraterrestrial elements, which is the main motif in the film. For Wright's other films, Shaun of the Dead, 2004, he used red and strawberry flavors, symbolizing blood and zombies, while the second part, Hot Fuzz, 2007, it was blue and vanilla, symbolizing the police. The sign for the King's Head pub features Simon Pegg's character as a king in a painted portrait. Let's see.
Whatever.
Oh, they already said the network thing. Oh, the poster or the sign for the mermaid features 3 mermaids, 2 blondes, and a redhead in the middle, referencing the marmalade sandwich.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
And they run into them at the mermaid. Oh, huh. All of the parking lots in Newton Haven, with the exception of side streets that the shots pass on, are populated with Vauxhall Amperas in different colors, foreshadowing the underlying uniformity that is affecting the town. Also, the Vauxhall Ampera is a plug-in electric car, which is another reference to the robots.
Fascinating.
We talked about Steve driving the car through the hole in the wall, leading a hole in the wall.
At hole in the wall.
At hole in the wall. Oh, the Fruit Machine in the King's Head has the same tune as the Fruit Machine in Shaun of the Dead. I don't know if you guys noticed that. The
okay.
little pinball or whatever it was, gambling machine. Oh, the machine featured in each movie is Ooh Ah Dracula. I don't know. In every pub, the emblem of the network can be seen on the beer taps, which is more prominent in the World's End. They mentioned that Sam and Steven were in a production of Cabaret. A few moments later, Gary greets Sam with the words, Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome, which is a title of a well-known song from Cabaret. There's all these movies have so much dumb shit in them, and like we don't even catch half of it.
That's because we're not British.
Yeah. What? When the gang enters the beehive after fleeing the mermaid, the book that Guy Shepherd, or Pierce Brosnan's character, is reading is Aldous Huxley's dystopian classic Brave New World.
What the fuck?
Yeah, right? Throughout the movie, you can hear some GSM interference-like noises blended into the film's score that foreshadows the true nature of the alien invaders, the network. Whoa. The film progresses through 3 increasingly larger negative formats. The opening flashback footage is standard 16 millimeter. From then up until the robots are revealed, it's a 3-perf Super 35. And from then, it's 4-perf Panavision anamorphic until the ending scenes, which it switches back to Super 35.
Huh. That actually, so that makes a lot of sense on why some of it feels as jarring as it does.
Yeah, like it feels more like chrome and bright and stuff after the robots are revealed.
Fascinating.
The fences gag was in this movie again.
A lot.
Yeah, he like falls over like 4 things, but
Does he do his own stunts?
I don't know. I looked up to see if I could find the shit about the stunts, and I couldn't find anything. It was the second film in the trilogy to include a former James Bond, but the first to include a former Bond girl.
I didn't see Roger Moore.
Pierce Brosnan. Rosamund Pike.
You mean the bad guy from Mrs. Doubtfire?
Jesus. Oh, Sam was Rosamund Pike. She was in Die Another Day.
Oh, okay. I thought she looked familiar. I don't know if that's what I know her from, though.
Yeah, I don't know either. I thought she looked familiar, but there's apparently a bunch of quotes from songs, which makes sense because Gary was obsessed with 90s music for the last 20 years.
One of my favorite little snarky comments is when Gary says something, and I don't remember what he says, but Peter is like, well, that's not very PC. And then Gary says, oh, will you get out of the 90s?
Yeah.
And there's this huge thing with PC culture, like, invaded Europe in the 90s.
Right.
Like, 20 years before it, like, made it to America.
Right.
And, like, it's not so much something that they deal with anymore, because they're even, like, they're so open about everything.
They've been in it for...
Yeah.
So what you're saying is eventually America will outgrow this PC bullshit?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Outgrow or completely submerge itself in it, one way or the other.
We need to get across the pond.
Well, I mean, the only real understanding that can come out of being PC is the understanding that people have a right to say what they want to say. And
The lighting in the cupboard scene with Mad Basil is a tribute to Italian horror director Mario Bava. Yeah, I think that's enough trivia. There's a lot more. Just go to IMDb, guys, and check it out. There's almost 100 trivia things on here. Some of it's dumb. Some of it's just like, oh, this is a trilogy, sort of. Because it's an unofficial trilogy.
Right.
But
it's a
it is.
joke that
it's a trilogy.
That's another joke, meta joke about the series, is that it's a trilogy. Right. And then it's called the Cornetto Trilogy.
All right.
Because it's not.
Not actually a trilogy, right? Do we have any other points before we get to ratings?
I don't think so.
Nathan?
No.
No? All right. I'm going to go first. I'm going to give it an 8. I think the movie's really solid. But I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like, and I think it's all about Simon Pegg's character. There is a little bit going on with the CG that isn't great. I just don't think it's as good as the other two. Even being like the culmination of the Cornetto trilogy. I really like the end, and I really want to watch that movie. And I agree with Nathan that I want to watch the movie that started this.
Yeah.
You know, with the shooting star at the end, knowing what comes afterwards. But I'm just not like all in on this movie. So it's getting an 8. Russell?
I love a lot about this movie, only just like a couple things. The plot, I wish it was a little bit more involved, background interwoven, just executed a little bit differently, I think would also work for me. But I'm going to give it a 9, which puts it on par with Hot Fuzz for me. And that's really honestly like after this watch and watching Hot Fuzz again and trying to put all three of them in like a category or order, trying to put all three of them in an order. Shaun of the Dead's my favorite. I do think I like watching this one more than Hot Fuzz, but Hot Fuzz is altogether a better movie, so that kind of equals them out for me. Yeah. And that's but I love the jokes in this movie. I love the humor in this movie more than I like the humor in Hot Fuzz.
Right.
Hot Fuzz is like, it's like just watching like a really good movie.
Yeah.
And is executed really well. Whereas this is a lot of fun. And the jokes and the interwoven humor gets me a little bit more on this one. And the back and forth gets me too. But I mean, that pretty much puts it and Hot Fuzz on par for me, but I still love all three of these movies. I do think they are some of the best movies out there.
All right. Nathan, what do you think?
As a listener, I know this is the moment you're waiting for, so I'll give you my rating. No, I'm going to give this movie 7.5 Jordans and a mint chocolate chip Cornetto. Because the thing with Cornettos, or just mint chocolate chip, you don't know that you want it till you get it. Then you're okay with it. You're like, I wanted a different flavor. All they had was mint chocolate chip. It's not bad. You know? As compared to the other movies, Shaun of the Dead's number 1. And then these two just kind of float next to each other, in my opinion. Because I didn't like Hot Fuzz as much as I like The World's End.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can't put one over the other because Shaun of the Dead was just so good.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. 7.5 Jordans.
All right. Well.
And a Cornetto.
Cunts. That'll do it for today's episode of DQP Does. Next week, I think we're going to start the Halloween stuff.
Oh, shit.
Next week. So
That's right. The votes are in, folks. The votes are in.
Yeah. Not actually, because this is still the beginning of September, but this isn't going to come out till the end. So,
Dude, spoilers.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person, but there was a peek behind the curtain a little bit.
It's okay, twat.
Yep.
Did you see the cunts behind the curtain?
What?
Where are the cunts? So what do we want to do? We want to be free. We want to be free to do whatever we want to do. We want to get loaded. We want to have a good time. Why am I
Trying to
peeking?
game plan. I don't know. You're a beautiful individual without a top
so
level.
hard.
Okay.
I'm trying to get things edited off this thing.
It's okay. Like one day Nathan's gonna be like, you know, guys, I just think I'm gonna bounce, and then we're gonna be like, play. It's gonna be just a long stream of terrible things that he said.
Like, no, you are our captive.
Blackmail.
I'm going to
No.
flog my Molly.
Do the cuddly monkey.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys would do that to me. Not real friends. But
Oh, come on.
we thought we were real friends. We went through some shit this week.
Yeah,
If-
we are real friends.
Guess not.
Wait, is
You
that
got
where
your
the
job
name-
back. We can fuck with you now.
Yeah.
Does the name Flogging Molly come from Molly Malone because they flogged her?
Dude,
Oh, God. Catch up from 10 minutes ago.
what the fuck?
That was like 30 seconds ago.
No, it was like forever ago. We were just
Yeah,
talking
when
about it.
Cassie was down here, we were talking about that.
I was like, oh, flogging Molly.
All right, anyway.
Get on. That's another English reference.
Jog on.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Oi, prick. Let's go.
Give your
So-
balls a tug.
This is going to be a bitch.
You mean a cut.
Uh-huh. And a cock.
That's how you make a babies.
But, I really think the tone of this movie was set early on, and it continued and paced well throughout the rest of the film.
8 out of 10. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. This has been DQP Does the Cornetto Trilogy.
Listen to the Crimson Ring podcast on the DQP Podcast Network.
18 minutes. That's a record. Now let's just pretend the rest
That's
of
what
the
she
episode
said.
is outtakes.
Wow.
Yeah, it got weird.
Hey, Cassie.
Are you recording yet?
Yeah, we've been recording.
Not
sort of.
really.
Out the way. I don't even know how to turn these right side out. Half of it's inside out, half of it's not. Throw them away. Don't even do it. I'm throwing them away. That's
What are you
stupid.
throwing away?
His jeans that are ripped to the ankles.
What happened?
He's on his knees too
She
much.
told me I was too old.
Oh, save that one.
She told me I was too old to wear these jeans because they have naturally ripped holes in
They're
them.
like
Oh, my
this
God.
big. And I'm like, they're not even trendy with the lines. Like, they're just like nasty gaping holes
Nasty
Sagging.
gaping holes.
off his body.
Wow.
It's almost like she looked up my porn history.
You got like a gross, shitty boy pussy.
No, just the jeans are shitty boy pussy.
If it's like gaping and hanging off of your body,
Yeah,
Hey,
you
Barry
should probably
has
get
ripped
that
up
surgically
jeans.
fixed.
we'll just throw them away.
Prolapse.
Yeah, surgically fixed.
They're so bad. Look, it's up
I fixed them, but you can throw them away if you want.
Look.
Throw 'em away.
These things. That is huge.
That got far worse on this wash.
That is huge.
Like, I mean, the knees were already pretty bad, but this wasn't that bad.
I wish my pants ripped in those places so that I can continue to wear them. Mine rip.
No.
Here, I don't want to
They look like
touch
these on
your.
his knees. You got
Mine
one
rip right
side.
here.
You got chub rub me too.
Yeah,
I hate
right
jeans.
here. Sometimes if they last long enough, but they usually rip right here, or like
And
on
that's
the
why
back
we
of the
call
pocket.
him the
Oh
sack.
yeah, like that.
From the wallet.
Yeah. Only I don't even carry a fucking wallet anymore, and they still rip like that.
Always ripping the crotch from my thighs rubbing together.
Yeah.
That's why I buy $12 Walmart jeans.
Throw them away.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like that old baseball cap that guys like have an attachment to. I feel like those are these jeans.
Yeah, she's asking you to throw shit away, bro.
That means we're married.
Throw them away.
I won't throw them. It's like you're lucky too. Look, now you think you won, and I am throwing them away.
No, I'm just mad because I said throw them away, and you're not throwing them away, and you do that shit to me all the time, and it pisses me off.
Well, I don't want you to like 6 months from now be like.
The other day, she was like, I really want Dairy Queen. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, let's go get Dairy Queen. And she was like, well, what were you going to say? And I was like, I was going to say Wendy's. And she was like, we can get Wendy's. And I was like, no, we can go get Dairy Queen. And she's like, well, now you're mad. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Now I am.
You don't
Throw
have to
them
take
away.
this. You
I
don't
would
have
throw
to-
them away.
You're gonna be like, those were my favorite pants, and I was too old to wear them, and she threw them away. That's gonna be in your wedding vows.
I don't project your pettiness on me.
I'm not. My wedding vows are gonna be Taylor Swift lyrics.
I wasn't talking about wedding vows.
That's what the kind of petty I thought you were insinuating that I am. That I would bring something up in our wedding vows.
Just throw the pants away.
No.
Then put them in the dresser. I don't give a fuck.
I want you to throw them away.
Okay, hand them here.
Get off me.
Give them here.
Nope, not if you don't want to.
Give them here.
Nope, you love them.
Give me the pants.
That's not very perfect.
Trashed. It's symbolic.
There's just paper in there.
It's symbolic. I need some nicotine now. I'm not digging them back out. Like, I'm really going to throw them away. I don't ever want to have that
He just
conversation
fucking
again.
put the pants on. Jesus Christ, Russell.
They're like a wind tunnel for my balls.
This has been a production of the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network.